you can run campaigns or you've been out for a day, hopefully you'll be able to see that kind of the next day or when you look back the day after, that that the number was bigger than the previous. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's clear. So that's kind of what we've got at the moment, and you'll be able to track that like every day, and then it should give you like a summary for each month when you look back.
I was going to say, when you first started the website, is there a section where it says how did you hear about the website? Because if there was, you could say put like word of mouth, Google, or like campus people.
Local, yeah.
Yeah,
local,
and then obviously if they just heard about it like by you, every time they click that, it will come up as say one person from your campus which you brought in.
Yeah, but not everyone
Yeah,
is
but
going
then-
to like tick every box.
Exactly.
No, it's just like a selection box. You get that and then say.
It's some useful feedback. It's some useful feedback to have, and I'm going to make a note of it.
But then what if you speak to one
As
person and they get like 3 of their mates to sign up, then they're going to tick the friend box rather than you, which I suppose isn't you.
Sure, but
yeah.
then we know that.
Yeah, exactly.
We know we're running this campaign for a reason. Like, we know campus brand managers work. Like they get their friends to talk and their friends to help people.
True.
And
You should do that.
And that's great. In terms of like the sign up form, we've tried to keep it like as minimalist as possible. People don't like.
Yeah.
What information do they have to do?
So
First name, last name.
should have like had it on screen. So there's I think it's two pages. It's a 2-page registration form. The first page is your email address, and you create a username and password. And then once you click, and then it's got 3 like tick boxes, like you agree to terms and conditions, and then you can opt into other with our partners. We've got a graduate
So
recruitment
you could
form.
never like collect email addresses and sign people up, if you know what I mean? Because they have to make their own.
If you wanted, I suppose that's like if this is an actual idea that we want to discuss, then potentially.
It's like when you go
I
to
know
like
it's something that
register,
other people do.
everyone just whacks their email down on every single page, and if you like their name, if you just have their name and email, you could do it.
You can email them
It's like
sign up today, couldn't you?
A few years
Yeah,
ago,
no, but
like we did have people attend like careers fairs and freshers fairs, and we had laptops, and it's come sign up, get some free jelly beans, and basically it did not work.
I think if they sign up, they see the site.
Exactly.
You sign up for them,
Exactly.
they
I think
would
also it looks
yeah,
like
not
that's
go on.
more-
This was the thing, like, and we had like we had laptops. And we thought, it's the easiest way because if you're handwriting, typing in all the email addresses, if we get, basically the most. If you go to a freshers fair or careers fair, the most people that you're likely to get in one day, which you can do if you're organised and you're hot, and then like 2 or 3 of you, is 1,000. Like we've done it. That is the most you can get in a day. So it's about 1,000 people, which isn't necessarily a bad number if you think we're suggesting a figure of 5,000. Like you do that with 5 of those, great. But in terms of how much does it cost to like buy a stand from the university at a careers fair or freshers fair, it's at least £1,000, and that's before like the staff time or like any freebies or the laptop or before anything else. Like,
Well, if you
the
didn't understand
tra-
it, you just
the
like
tra-
stood there with
Well,
your
exactly. Like which is if you're there, like you're going round and you've got a clipboard, you're doing other things, then you can do that. You've still got to like take the time to like type them all up and send them an email. But I can't remember who I said if someone's gone to the website and then they say, oh, I want to access this offer. Oh, great! I need to sign in. I'm going to create an account. Okay, I can print off 2 fonts, Cinema tickets, it's New World. Okay, perfect. Then they've like signed up because they wanted to get this offer and they've seen there's great stuff on the site. Whereas if you're at a careers fair or a freshers fair, you're not signing people up. I'm not saying no, don't do it. It's definitely an idea. Like try it. But when you send out that email, like how many of them gave you a fake email address because they were just like, okay, go away, yeah, whatever. So we've probably got like some good emails. You've got some decent email addresses. You send out an email. How many of them like ignore it or like react to it? There's that conversion rate. It's that numbers game again. And you'll definitely get some people like it'll definitely work. You'll get some people to sign up. But in terms of like, is it the most effective use of your time? Like, give it a go. If it's something you want to do, like, definitely give
What
it a go.
details do you need? Their email address, their name.
Well, see
So do you have to have an address?
so basically if you wanted to collect email addresses, then the way that would need to work is you need to collect the email addresses. Then you just send them an email saying go and sign up here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Can
I
you give
don't
us
think
an email address with the official stuff so that we can kind of...
Oh, in terms of like then emailing those people.
So you
Yeah,
can send them
if
an
you want,
email.
if you wanted like,
And at students.
So it's in the same format as what you normally use, and we could just write our own info.
oh, in terms of like a written email, like a template
Yes, it looks
of
like
what you could send out.
Template, yeah.
Yeah, we could actually do that. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so objectives, kind of outline your objectives for the year. So this is kind of what you want to achieve, your goals. It's like quantifiable kind of target. This includes what you'd like to achieve and the dates you'd like to achieve them by. So by the end of the campaign, I'd like to have signed up as many people, for example. Strategies. So great, you've got a target, that's really important, you know what you're working towards, how are you going to go about doing it. I hope to see like a few people thinking about how can I spread the most word of mouth possible across campus as like a bit of a strategy, and then once you've got a strategy, so if spreading word of mouth, do you think word of mouth is the most effective thing you can do on campus, that's going to be your strategy to get people talking about it. The measure is then what specific actions can I take to like spread, to like implement that strategy. Does that make sense? So it's like thinking about, okay, I've got a goal, I've got like this vision, I've got these objectives, there's like, you know, high level things I know what I'm working towards. What overall things do I need, like, what are my strategies towards achieving that? And then breaking it down into like clear action steps. Okay, I need to do X, Y, and Z, and then in conclusion, kind of moving forward, provide an overview and summary of the local campaign. Just kind of wrapping it up, kind of any kind of extra points you want to make, things that you hope you see. So it's quite simple. It's not rocket science. Hopefully you agree. Does that sound cool? Excellent. So you'll get electronic copies of this as well, so you can I'm not expecting you to like write things in these tiny little gaps and like post it in or something. You'll get electronic copies of this stuff, along with like the whole handbook. And I'll kind of let you know kind of in terms of like dates when to kind of send these in by. Obviously I'll be going through a few things with like the people that aren't able to be here, and like the video will be put together and all that stuff first too. But you know, broadly in the next few weeks. Great. Any other questions kind of about all this? Yeah?
Sorry, it's a really random one again.
That's okay.
With leafleting, if we're not doing it on campus, do we not need a pass or something? Because sometimes the police say, can't you? Because I've done leafleting before and you have to show a pass.
Sure. Not in our experience. Like generally, as students, like going around halls or being on campus, like as a student, like we've never had any problems before.
But I just think off campus, because Brighton has a lot of touristy things and lots of different events, so maybe could go to one of them, catch some students. But
sure, like if there's a specific event that you want to attend, like let us know. Certainly, if anyone approaches you and says you need to have a pass, like let us know the details.
Do you have to pay for the passing or something?
I would have thought so. It depends on what it is. In our experience, like, we've had campus brand managers in lots of cities. We've not had a campus brand in Brighton before. So I imagine there might be, you know, the local council might have a different rule. I don't know. But generally, as ambassadors of the brand, like out there, kind of representing the brand, kind of whether it's flyering, putting up posters, whatever it is, you know, we're not asking you to kind of fly tip or do things that are kind of breaking the rules. You know, sometimes bending the rules can be useful. I know I did it a few times at Reading, but you know, I was never doing anything kind of illegal or untoward, or you know, that was going to get me or the company in trouble. I think that's important. You know, we're giving you that responsibility to kind of make decisions, and yeah. Any kind of other questions on that stuff?
If we do need a flyer pass, would you really be able to slide it?
Yeah, well, like find out how much it is before you like cough up for anything and like talk to us about it.
The ones in Sheffield are about 50 quid.
Okay, well yeah, like let us know. Like, send me the details, and like, we can look at that. But generally, you know, do look first to see if there's like good places you can find, like access people like without needing those things first. But absolutely, if you need something, like talk to us about it. Yeah, cool. Anything else? Cool. So, freshers. Perfect. So we're going to touch on freshers kind of on and off through a number of sessions. People often, like, there's always questions about Freshers Fair, so I wanted to just touch on it directly. In particular, like, Freshers is an important time of year. Like, you've got lots of new students like on campus, and you know, they're looking to get engaged in stuff and join societies, and you know, everyone signs up to about 5, 10, 20 societies, and then you stay a member of like one. And generally, that's a bit of a kind of representative action, I guess, of kind of the mindset of students when they first come to university. And you know, there's so many messages being provided, lots of things. And it's a really important time, but it's, you need to be careful about kind of what things you think you're going to get out of that time of year, in terms of your campaign. So generally, like we don't promote directly at Freshers Fairs, like as a rule of thumb. Like we don't go kind of like buy stands and have a big stall and banners and give out loads of stuff at Freshers Fairs, because we know from experience, having done it over 5 years, like we know it doesn't work. And you're talking to like lots of companies choose to like, advertise on our site. and they do that as an alternative to going to Freshers' Fairs, because we created this online Freshers' Fair all year round, and where people are looking to engage with brands on our site as opposed to like somewhere at Freshers' Fair where it's a lot more crowded and the message doesn't kind of come through so clearly. But there is opportunities kind of around campus, perhaps around the Freshers' Fair, kind of in halls at that time of year, which can be useful, like especially as students are moving into halls. Like there's kind of great opportunity there. So Freshers' Fair in particular, I've got kind of meet heads of societies. Like I mentioned this briefly yesterday. Like you've got all the heads of societies potentially like in one space in terms of like building those relationships. So if you kind of see any key opportunities with kind of big societies, it's a great opportunity to go and introduce yourself, kind of make that contact. Perhaps get their contact details and you can follow up with them afterwards. There's definitely there are opportunities kind of around there. And the other thing is that competitor activity, even the societies or kind of other people that might be buying stands at Freshers' Fairs, kind of seeing what they're up to, and for you guys to be aware of that, and if there's anything particularly interesting or exciting that you think you can kind of feedback to us that we can learn from, then that's really useful too. It's kind of part of your role. And that's kind of generally kind of the overview for kind of freshers in that time of year. Have you got any questions or thoughts or things yet?
If you did do the clipboard thing, do you have to get permission? I mean, if you're in the Freshers' Fair, as like if you're standing somewhere.
Yeah, like generally, if you try, if you go and like speak to your students' union and say, okay, I want to attend your Freshers' Fair, they'll say, okay, here's the bill. There'll be no further conversation past that invoice. However, if you rock up as a student at the Freshers' Fair, you're going to talking to people and you've got some flyers and you're like, that's what I did, and that was cool, and it was fun, and people went and signed up, and that was great.
Did you wear a hoodie?
Yeah. And I had my bag. And that's what I mean about we're not looking to do something that's illegal or untoward, but you're a student and you're going to collect stuff. You want the freebies for yourself. And yeah, whilst you're kind of having conversations with people, you can say, oh yeah, actually I'm doing this thing for student beans, or you must know about this site. That's great. But, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you meant about bending the rules then.
Like, yeah, it's like using your intuition, your initiative, and I say students' unions. I've not had great experiences with student unions over the last 5 years of my life, but I'm sure there are great ones out there. And there's someone somewhere at a student union that's a nice person. I'm sure. I've just not met them. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Any other questions about Freshers' Fairs? Awesome. Then, a bit which hopefully